Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday morning to you. Sipping Saturdays. We're not sipping today, though. We're drinking iced tea. The Longhorns play today, so I've got on a burnt orange shirt, Hook 'em Horns. And this is really cool because I've got a special guest that, man, is doing great things on YouTube, DIYers, teaching people how to do stuff. It's amazing for homeowners. Nils, welcome to Texas.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Texas. You
Yes,
were here
that's
just
right.
a couple of weeks ago.
Saw you not too long ago.
Absolutely. Not a bad deal.
Thank you.
So, first of all, guys, look, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If it's not your first time, you're back again. Man, good to have you back. Great to see you here. But if it is your first time and you were looking for something specific, jump over into the videos, find what you're looking for. But there may be some good stuff in here. It's not just me. I've got great plumbers, a lot of great people that get in here. If you've got a question today, do me a favor. As you put it in the comments, put a Q in front of it. I really want to answer your questions. It may be me. It may be other people in the chat. Got some wonderful people, so it's going to be fun. Nils.
Yes.
How we doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's a rainy day here in Texas.
It is. And I know you must have brought that with you from Utah because we don't get a lot
We've
of
got
rain
torrential downpours going on here right now. It's pretty crazy.
It's kind of funny because, I was telling Nils earlier, this part of Texas gets about 36 inches of rain a year. You just don't want to be here the day that we get it.
That's right.
And it appears that he showed up on that day.
I brought it. Yep.
So it is what it is. I love that. Anthony Gamer, good morning to you. Anthony Gamer 9000. Matt McDonough, good to have you in here, brother. Good morning, Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing. How have you been? I have been doing fantastic. Been so busy, hadn't been able to say hi lately. Hope all is well. Hoping to see more videos in the trade school you're building. We just kind of walked down there to shoot a video. And really what I'm building is a training center for Leak Pro. And this video is sponsored by Leak Pro. You want to learn more about leak detection equipment, go to leak-pro.com. Check it out. We're still building the training center. We've got all the underground water lines. We've got the concrete pads poured. Me and Randy have got out there and played with it and tested it. And now all I've got to do is the sewer so I can show people how to isolate lines on it. But, man, we're having a blast. So it's fun. And that's something most DIYers, homeowners aren't going to get out and do.
Right.
So plumbers learn more about leak detection, how to do it. It brings more value to your customers, and it definitely increases your bottom line. So you teach DIY.
Yeah.
Homeowners how to fix stuff around the house.
Right. How to fix things, how to maintain things, how to upgrade. Exactly.
You're not a handyman.
No.
I'm not going to call you a handyman.
Right.
You're not a home repair person. You're not a licensed plumber, electrician, HVAC tech. You work on computers.
Yep.
You're a computer geek.
I'm a computer geek. Yep.
Dude, your DIY videos are fantastic. I love what you do.
I appreciate it.
So what made you, and look, Homeowners Plumbing Guide, we're going to get there, I promise. First of all, where can people find your channel? And normally I make them wait till the very end, but go ahead. Where can people find your channel here?
So my channel is called Learn to DIY, and if you type that in by itself, you're going to find it, but the actual spelling is LRN, the number 2, DIY. So head on over there, and you'll find a whole arsenal of different videos really geared at homeowners and how to fix everything you need to around the house or do upgrades.
And I got to tell you, it's neat. I mean, neat stuff. You talk about product, you talk about so many different things, including plumbing. I mean, remodeling a bathroom, remodeling a kitchen, that is the most expensive home repair.
Right.
Most parts, because like if you move something around it, it can get costly quick. But that's where most people see a remodel, see the benefits of it.
Yeah.
You remodel a bedroom, you change the paint color or something.
Right.
You add crown molding that most people don't even notice.
Yep.
But when you go into a bathroom and do a remodel or a kitchen, it can be a major ordeal.
It is. It's a lot of work. It's overwhelming to people, and there's a little bit of everything in it. Usually you've got electrical, you've got plumbing, you've got woodworking, you've got cabinetry, and flooring, tile, you name it. You can have all that stuff in one job.
And that takes a lot of different skills, a lot of different trades.
Right.
And you really do it all yourself.
Yeah, and I think most people, I'm certainly not alone in that. I think most people are at least interested in learning how to do it all themselves, but they just need to know how. And you mentioned before, I don't have that specific skill in the trades of being trained in all of this kind of stuff. But that's kind of the point is, as a homeowner, you can learn these things and go figure it out and figure out how to really get anything around the house done that you need to.
You know, it's really neat. And I saw my next comment, so I'm going back in here looking for something real quick, just so I know that I've got the link for it. The neat thing is when I ask you, hey, you do all that stuff yourself, and it's all these different trades, and you're like, yeah, you say it like it's no big deal. And a lot of people would be afraid to try to do all that. But I mean, you tear apart, first video was a sewing machine.
Right.
You tear it apart and fix it. Now, I love the fact, and you mentioned this earlier, and I wanted to tell you, there is a place here in the Dallas area called Adam the Answer Man.
Okay.
Maybe a whole nother business for you.
Okay.
It's a repair shop, but they just tell you what's wrong with your stuff and sell you the parts to fix it. They don't do it.
Okay.
And guys, this place is phenomenal. But you walk in and it's about the size of my offices here and whatnot, and there's a counter up front. But in the back, they've got parts and pieces for every oven, washer, dryer, ice maker, and what they don't have, they can order and get it in.
Yep.
But you can call the guy, and he'll talk to you. And it used to be Adam. Now he sold it, I think, to his son or something. But you talk them through like, okay, what model number is it? Mm-hmm. Okay, what's this? What's it doing? What's it doing? Okay, try this, do this, and takes you through steps. And I'm sure he's got a computer program that's telling him, you know, how to diagnose or whatever. But he's like, okay, your problem is the heating element.
Sure.
And you need it. And oh, by the way, here's how much it is.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It is a neat deal. I love it.
I want to see a YouTube channel called Stump Adam the Answer Man.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
There you go. Just call him every day and come up with something different. I like that.
He probably gets the same questions a lot too.
Matthew McDonald says, oh, and love the trade talks. Great inspiration from the greatest businessmen alive. You guys are awesome. Man, I love it. We've had so much fun over there doing that. And I'm trying to see, I copied and pasted it a while ago. There it is. I'm going to pin this up top. Oh, and there's something up there. Oh, already created. So here's what I'll do. I'll post it over here and just tell y'all it is in here. I do have a link to the new YouTube channel that I put up. So when Nils came in earlier, we went over there and shot, I started saying an hour, but God, we went over. About an hour-long podcast talking about business and what he does and how he does it. And just, look, there's a lot of tradespeople. And I talked about it in the beginning. When I first got in the union, there was a plumber that I worked with, and we're eating lunch one day, and he says, oh, by the way, I'm leaving early. So, yeah, what you got going on? He says, I've got a plumber coming to the house to fix my toilet. And I'm like, wait, what? And he says, yeah. He says, it's running. I'm like, well, okay, why don't you fix it? He says, well, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, dude, you're a plumber. He said, yeah, but they teach us how to install pipe and build buildings. And so I don't know anything about fixing a toilet. And I'm like, blows my mind.
Blew my mind too. Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's something you teach people.
Right.
I love that. Something I teach people.
Right.
But anyway, I put the Trade Talks link in there. Guys, we're almost up to 1,000 subs. So if every one of y'all would just jump over and subscribe, we could get there really quick.
Yeah, make it happen.
But the neat thing about it is I've had, you know, Matthew talks about the business owners that I've had in here. I've had some amazing people. I had Tommy Mello in here who's doing $200 million a year in garage door work.
Wow.
Did y'all hear me? $200 million a year. And you'll realize through that video, his goal is to get to $1 billion a year in garage doors. Don't get me wrong, he's in 28 different markets. He knows what he's doing. He understands how to grow and do things. And I think that is just phenomenal. But that's why I have people like that in there.
Yep.
So jump in there, go over there, check it out, listen to who all I've got, what all I've got. And I'm trying to find out where my cursor is right there. And I'm going to keep going into the comments. Guys, remember, if you've got a question, do me a favor. Put a Q in front of it. I'll make sure that I get to it, or I'll try really, really hard. Kat says, hi, with everything going on today, what would happen if our water supply would not be safe? What is your take? Kat, this is, number one, it's a great question. Yeah. Number two, it's something I worry about all the time. I'll tell you what I've got. I've got Mountain Valley bottled water, the big 5-gallon jugs. I've got that drinking water at home and I've got it here at the office. So I've probably got 100 gallons of drinking water between the two places. And it's not that I started out doing it because of that. It's just I don't like what's in our city water, which I'm working on a video about that, about how bad our water is for us. But Caddy's going to be bad. New York, one of the water lines that goes across to the island, they say, look, it's 100 and some odd years old and it's deteriorating and it's got leaks, it's got this. And they're like, we're waiting for the day it ruptures.
Yeah.
And when it does rupture, 8 million people don't have water.
Oh, man.
And it's going to get crazy. So
hope they're doing something about it.
Look, our city infrastructures are like that. We've built all this underground, guys. It's not like you can just go jump in and fix it. In the future, that's what it's going to be. What cities, what counties, what municipalities, what states are investing in their infrastructure and making sure that not just the roads, we look at the roads all the time. Hey, there's more people. We need to build more roads. Okay, there's more people. We need to get them more drinking water.
Right.
So stuff like that is going to be huge.
Just real quick, sewage goes along with that.
Yes.
We actually had a pause on construction in our town because there was not enough sewage line. The bandwidth essentially wasn't there to add new people. So they said, you can build houses, but nobody's allowed to move in until we get this new sewage line run. Wow. And that's something we don't think about much. But that's the last thing we need is sewage backup and stuff coming out of the gutters and all that.
Yeah, that was not going to be good.
Yep.
Chris Shreves, good to see you in here again as always. Says, good morning, everyone. Watching today, not hunting this week.
Okay.
That is a good thing. I got Rob Renfro in last week or the week before, and he's literally like, man, I'm normally going hunting right now. It's like, I understand.
It's a sacrifice.
JR says, goat. I'm assuming he's talking about you, the greatest of all time. You got to love it. Chris says, yeah, I'm doing okay, but I sure ain't hire a plumber. I'm doing okay, but I sure ain't hire a plumber rich. Look, plumbers make good money. I ain't gonna lie to you. Over the next few years, they're gonna be making more money.
Yep.
That's what I love about, I started my channel teaching homeowners how to fix their own plumbing.
Right.
And, I look at you and that's exactly what you're doing. Look, this is how you fix your own stuff. You're not doing it with just plumbing. You're doing it with all kinds of things.
Right.
What are your favorite videos to make? About what topic? Do you have one in particular you're just like, I love this?
That's a tough one. One of the ones that stands out, though, is power tools and just kind of getting into the nitty gritty of what power tools work well and which ones don't. We all spend a lot of money on power tools and a lot of time researching them. So it's kind of fun to put them head to head and see what actually performs best.
I tell you what, I got to go to Pipeline for Milwaukee a couple of months back. And one thing I love about what they're doing, I want everybody to think about this because a lot of other tool manufacturers, every few years they'll change their tools a little bit, but they'll change their battery.
Okay, right.
And it's like, well, now you need a whole new set of batteries to go with that.
Yep.
Milwaukee's like, yeah, our batteries are always going to fit.
M18s, man, all the way across the board.
M12 to M18 to M20s. And, man, the things that I learned at this last Pipeline that I can't even talk about, they're making batteries that are, and I want to say bigger, stronger, faster, but they're not bigger. They're smaller.
Yeah.
They weigh less. They have more juice.
Yep.
And the numbers are going to blow your mind. But I love what Milwaukee's doing. There's just,
same.
It really was. It was really, really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Anthony, hello to you. Factual Fallout. I like the name of that. Hello there to you. Matt Walbert says, good morning, Roger. First time listening. Matt, thank you for being in here. Great to see you. Dr. Med Ulrich Sells says, hello from Germany. Good to see you in here also. Henry Wakefield Square is in the house. Ricardo Granados says, hello, good morning from El Paso, Texas. Richie Reuter Plumbing Company, M42702. Ricardo, number one, man, welcome in here. Good to have you here. I got to go to El Paso a couple of years back and do midday in El Paso or something. A neat show. It was really cool. Had a lot of fun. So great seeing you in here. Thanks. Manshed. This is my favorite DIY teacher, Nils.
What's up, Michael?
Manshed, how you doing? Good to see you in here. What makes you become a great DIY teacher? Because, we've had this conversation. you're not afraid to try stuff.
Right.
And a lot of people, I mean, I told you my story about an electrical outlet.
Yeah.
And I went for years without one where I wanted one and needed one. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, this is easy to do. I did it. And I'm like, my whole thought process is, why did I wait so long to do that?
Right. I think that sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you're good.
I think that most people just need to see that it's relatable. You can do this. Like it's most DIY projects that we do around the house, they seem overwhelming when we don't know the steps, when we're, not knowledgeable about what's going on with it. But once you start saying, okay, it's step 1, step 2, step 3, that makes sense. I can handle that. And then you see this guy's not, Mr. been doing this all his life and he can do these different things. Maybe I can give that a try tool. And then tools do play a part, right? Mm-hmm. And I look at it always as an excuse to say, oh, I might need this new tool and might as well go get that and add it to the arsenal. But I'm also the neighborhood tool guy. So if anybody needs something,
they know you got
this? Yeah, I got it. So we rent out, or not rent out, we do it for free, but we lend out a lot of tools. And just get the tools and dive in and get stuff going.
Matt Wilbert says, question, 26-year-old service plumber here. Are we a dying breed? Yes, you are. But that's good because what you're becoming is a unicorn.
Right.
And look, I talk about this all the time when I'm talking about sponsorships for YouTube. And look, I reached out to the community before I ever did a sponsorship. So, hey, look, I'm talking to companies about doing this. It's not free for us to do what we do.
Yeah.
And I explained to them, I said, look, I'm looking at bringing in sponsors. By the way, this video is sponsored by Leak Pro. Go to leak-pro.com, check it out. And they were like, no, we understand. And one thing that I learned or realized whenever I was reaching out to these sponsors is I'm a unicorn. So, Matt, what I'll tell you is look, keep doing what you're doing. Learn to be the very best service plumber you could ever be.
Right.
And, this last week I read the book, The Dip again. And it literally gets down to if you're not trying to be the best, why not? So, Matt, the opportunity ahead of you is phenomenal. You're 26 years old. The average age of plumbers in Texas is 58, 59, something like that. You're 30 years younger than that. Yeah. You've got an amazing future and career ahead of you. And with the average age being 58, 59, guess what? There's going to be a lot of people retiring. And when they do, your life is going to be amazing. Sorry, that is bugging me. I'm trying to make that go away. And why it won't let me. No, remind me later. There you go. I had a squirrel on my screen. But no, Matt, the opportunity for you is going to be phenomenal. Stick with it. Keep learning. Keep growing. Learn to specialize in something. I did slab leaks and leak detection. That's why the whole Leak Pro thing. Slab leaks and leak detection, depending on where you're located. Whole house water filtration.
Okay. Yep.
Have you installed a whole house water filter?
I have not.
Okay. Great thing. I love those. If you're a plumber, those are two really, really big deals. If you're an HVAC guy, I'm telling you, become a master in indoor air quality, learn learn air purification. And if you're an electrician, I'd be telling you, learn solar panels or learn whole house GFCIs. How do you do stuff like that?
Yeah.
And a lot of these things are most homeowners. Would you tackle any of those?
So most of those things that you mentioned are off the list.
You bet.
I would try some of them, the solar in particular, but most of those I'm like, that seems way more advanced.
And think about that, Matt. And man, it's a perfect time for that question just because of the conversations we've had. Because a lot of these things, most homeowners are never going to try.
Right.
They're going to be like, look, that's above my pay grade. I get that. If you can become the expert on any one of those, you said plumbing. So slab leaks and leak detection to me are the easiest. Go to Leak Pro, check it out. Whole house water filtration, another easy one. Yep. It's really installing an appliance and understanding more about it than anybody else. If you can become the guru in your area for those two things, you can make as much money as you want to make.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a hard thing to believe, isn't it?
Yep, that's true.
Daniel Hughes, it's great to see you guys together. Enjoy you both. Daniel, thank you very much. Manshed says, congrats, Nils, on crossing 700,000 subs on your channel. Love you. Man, that's a neat feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I crossed 100,000,
Right. Me too.
and I'm like, dude, I never thought this would happen. It's just, when you started doing YouTube, did you understand the money you can make, the growth you can have, the impact you can have? Did you understand that in the beginning or not really?
No, and no.
Yeah.
Like not at all.
So I flew to Atlanta last Monday, flew back Friday morning. I'm in the Dallas airport, which you'll say, okay, well, it's in Dallas. You're from Dallas. I don't do anything different in Dallas than I do anywhere else.
Right.
It's got recognized 3 times in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
I'm sitting there getting my boots shined. I got there early. It's me, surprise.
Yep.
I got there early. I'm getting my boots shined. This guy walks up and he's like, oh my God, you're Roger Wakefield. Can I take a picture with you? I'm always branded. Okay, that's my deal. And I learned that from Michael Gerber, thank God. When you're the brand, look, represent it. If you don't love your brand so much you'll wear it every day, why not? What's wrong?
Yeah.
And I pretty much do. Unless I'm going out for a date, just lunch by myself, anything all like that, it's me.
Yep.
As soon as I get up, walk down towards my gate, 2 other guys come walking up. They're like, oh my God, can we take a picture with you? And I'm like, yeah. Then I get to Atlanta. I'm walking through the Atlanta airport. And this guy comes up beside me and says, look, man, I don't want to be disrespectful or anything, but you're Roger Wakefield. I said, yes, sir, I am. He says, do you mind if I take a picture? I'm like, oh my God, no, not at all. And normally I'll carry swag with me. So I'll have a bag that'll have stickers or wristbands or keychains or something. And man, I was going to a completely different kind of conference this week, so I didn't carry anything. And then I felt bad. It's like, oh man, because I normally like just being able to hand them a little Ziploc baggie and say, hey man, thanks for recognizing me.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. You're just too famous. You can't go. You're gonna get mobbed everywhere you go now.
Yeah, and I'm half the size you are, so we'll get back into your famousness here in a moment. So
different story there.
There you go. Factual Fallout says, as a woman wanting to go into the trades, what advice would you give to a woman wanting to start these trades who may be a bit intimidated? Number one, I'd say there's nothing to be intimidated about. See, I can't even say the word. Intimidation should never come into the factor. Here's the deal. And I had this conversation. I spoke at Dallas County College the other day and probably had about 1,100 students there. And when girls would come up to this table that they'd set up outside, anytime I'd talk to them, I'd say, have y'all thought about getting into plumbing? And they'd always laugh. And I said, wait, why are y'all laughing? They're like, well, we're girls. It's like, what if I told you the number 1 plumber in Texas was female?
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? Well, the executive director of the Texas State Plumbing Board, Lisa Hill, is a master plumber with every master endorsement. Lisa, she, her.
Yep.
And they're like, really? It's like, and one of the ladies that was there, this is Mary Conger, y'all. She's a master plumber, every endorsement, a mechanical engineer. She does continuing education, and she teaches the trades at the colleges.
Wow. Yeah.
Women get in and become amazing because, y'all, it's a mental thing to you.
Yep.
You want to do things right. You want to do things perfect all the time. I love that. Guys, it's like, get out of my way. I'll get that done. And we just get in and power through it.
I don't need instructions. I don't need to read the manual.
Yeah. Instructions.
Yeah.
I ain't read instructions since 1973. But that's what it is. So guys, think about that. Factual Fallout. Look, don't let intimidation think you. The things that you teach, you try to teach your children.
Right. Absolutely.
How many of those are girls?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. 75%.
It's 75% of his home audience is
That's
female.
Right.
Yeah. Don't let intimidation slow you down.
With that, I will say a lot of the most talented and capable DIYers I've seen as well. Same kind of thing. Women who just have a good eye for things, know how to get things done, and they just figure out how to get it done and do it right. And there's some of the women leading the charge as far as DIY stuff. And I think in any of the trades really as well, just kind of show us up, show us how it's done. It's pretty impressive.
Well, just look at TV. You've got Chip and Joanna.
Yeah.
Joanna was a DIYer.
Yep.
Hey, I jump in, I do things, I fix things, I remodel things, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And you watch that. The rehab addict, Nicole Curtis. guys, she gets dirty.
Yep.
She gets in and works with her hands and does amazing work. So whatever you do, if you're a female, don't let that ever slow you down. I think it's amazing. Manshed said he's even an HVAC master now.
Thank you, Michael. Definitely no master, just but learning, right? Learning.
It's what it's all about.
Yep.
So the barn that we were just in, I'm wanting to close in a little bit.
Yep.
You can't do it completely, but I'm wanting to put air conditioning in there.
Yep.
Build bedrooms and kitchens and stuff like that in there, and my shop in there. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming.
Yeah.
A lot of HC.
All the trades, right? You're covering all of it right there.
Yeah. A lot of HVAC.
Yep.
And there it is again. I do have the Trade Talks 2.0 guys. Go over there. I'm serious. And I bring this up because Matt brought it up earlier. I think I've interviewed some of the most amazing tradespeople around the country. And they're not all professional tradespeople. Some are DIYers.
Sure. But
you can learn so much. So go check it out. You'll love it. Jason Smith, hello to you. Good to see you in here. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I started saying I'm sorry the Rangers beat Houston. I'm not. Man, it was such an amazing series. And I don't know if you're a fan or not. The Rangers won last night. I'm excited about that. But I got to tell you, I knew the Rangers were going to beat the Stros because last Saturday, the Texas Longhorns beat the Houston Cougars. Texas versus Houston. The Texas Rangers versus Houston. Hey, it was a double play. Its pattern was set. Y'all didn't have any choice. But, oh, my God. Such an amazing series. Jason, if you are a Stros fan, man, y'all were phenomenal. I loved it. I see we got flash in your pan here. Check it out. Manshed, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Ryan Fierro says 7 years ago was making $1,200 a month as a first-year apprentice. $1,200 a month as a first-year apprentice. Now, that's a little low, but that's 7 years ago. I'm set to clear $100,000 this year. To the young struggling helper, don't quit. Your time is coming.
Love it.
Man, that is so true.
Yep.
Joaquin Cordozo says, my friends, thanks for the teaching. Joaquin, thank you for being here. Blake 99 says, what is your best method to remove a drain cover that won't budge? I got to know what kind of drain cover you're talking about. Are you talking like a graded one, like a brass one set in a flange? Are you talking a drain cover on a tub, like an overflow cover? What? Give me a little more information there, Blake. And also, Sean's not in here right now. You can jump over into our subreddit and our Discord group. Subreddit is Roger Wakefield Posts. Put a picture, put your questions. I've got a lot of plumbers that'll jump in there and help you out. Tanya Coxon says, question, do you have videos about fixing a kitchen sink leak? Not a garbage disposal problem. It's leaking from a pipe. Yeah, I do. I've got videos about taking your parts of pipe, seeing if the P-trap's clogged, seeing what the different problems are. Tanya, when you jump in there and see that and learn to do that, it's easy to do. What do you think? You got one about fixing a leak under the sink?
I don't have one on that particular topic, but that just came up this week as I was looking at different video topics and things like that. And yeah, that's one that, again, definitely something you can do yourself.
Absolutely. Justin Duck says, how are you? Good afternoon from up north. Currently working on moving my plumbing for a toilet for my first time. What's your best advice? What would be yours? Best advice working on moving the plumbing for a toilet.
So moving the toilet from one location to another in the same room. That gets a little complicated, but it's again, very doable because you're working, depending on if you're on the first floor, basement, whatever that is, you're going to have to cut into whatever's underneath and get access to that drain. For one, I feel like the supply line's a little bit easier, honestly, than working on the location of the drain for that, the 4-inch pipe, and just making sure that you've got that where it needs to be. But like everything else, it's just a matter of understanding where those lines are, and there's a few different ways you can go about that, and then just making sure that you get it set exactly. And then check code too, both local code and national code, just to make sure that you've got your distances all correct, because there's a lot of things to keep in mind with how far that or where that toilet needs to be placed, essentially. So lots of little pieces on that one.
And here's the deal too, and we see this different because when you think of moving a toilet, you're thinking, okay, I got a basement below it. I get down here, I just cut a hole here, and it's not hard to do. Here in Texas, I'm like, okay, we're slab on grade. Are you chipping up concrete?
Right.
Are you tunneling under and making holes? What are you doing? So we're both going to look at that different. One of the first things I tell people is, look, don't move the plumbing if you don't have to.
Okay.
Now, the only reason I would say yes, move it is if you're completely rebuilding your layout. You need a bigger shower. You need room for a tub, whatever. Okay, now you've got a good reason.
Yeah.
Don't just move your plumbing to move your plumbing to say it's not there anymore, it's over here.
Right.
That is just, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But you can move it. But just understand like that there's going to be an additional cost of, God, maybe 25% of your bathroom remodel just to move the plumbing. So it can be that expensive. So think about that. Yep. But yeah, it can be done. I love the idea. And also know your AHA, your authority having jurisdiction, because you need to find out, do you need a permit? Do you need to get it inspected? I used to go out and I'd go in to look at jobs and they'd say, well, look, I'm gonna let you know right now, we're not pulling any permits. We're not getting it inspected.
Right.
It's like, well, then we're not working together.
Right.
And they'd look at me like, well, what do you mean? It's like, I get all my work inspected. Yep. I don't do work without permits. I can get in trouble and it's not worth me losing my license to do a job for you.
Yep.
They don't like that.
Called the wrong person.
I know you called the wrong guy. You know, and it's funny because we're talking a homeowner's plumbing guide. And I want y'all to think about this because this is something that when I was in continuing education a couple of years ago, I'm sitting down front. I've always been that student. I want to learn. And the instructor gets up and says, how many of y'all pull permits on every job you're supposed to? Mm-hmm. And I just raised my hand. And he looks at me. He says, Roger, look around. And I look around, and I'm the only one with my hand up.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, you really pull them on every job? I said, yeah. Even water heaters? Yeah, especially water heaters. Because I'm telling them it's part of the price. They said, well, we tell them it's part of the price, too. We just don't get it inspected. I said, then you're lying to your people and you're stealing from them. And I just believe in doing things right. Another great guest, Nils. I've sent your video of DIY mini split install to many people who want one. Keep up the great videos, both of you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I love me. See, I started to do that. I reached out to Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
And I wanted to plumb that. I wanted to plumb.
Yeah, you can't
what
get it out
I
of the
do.
system.
I know it's what
That's
I
right.
do. I wanted to install HVAC down there as splits and mini splits and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's a fun process.
Flash in your pan is in the house. Good to see you. Hope everything is going well. Man, I love this. I love jumping in their live streams. They're great. Yeah. Tommy Brown says, plumber to fix the toilet. Totally understand. That's why I try to train my guys to be all-around plumbers, which in itself might possibly be a mistake too. You know, I think the more you can teach people about any trade. I installed an electrical outlet the other day.
Yeah.
And I say the other day, it's a couple of months now. But I mean, it was just like, it's something I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to call somebody. And finally, one day I did. I called my little brother. I said, hey, man, I need to do this. He's like, well, we'll do it. I'm like, just tied on the switch? He said, yeah. And I had no idea you could do that. So it was interesting. But
Yep.
I think the more you get in and learn, and Tommy, you talk about training your guys to be all around. I think that's why I'm good at talking about what all I do on YouTube. I've done commercial, I've done residential, I've done industrial.
Yeah.
I've been service, I've been new construction, I've been union, I've been non-union. You can't talk much plumbing with me that I hadn't done,
Right.
that I hadn't been involved with and can talk about it. So, man, teach people to learn all you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're trying that with your kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Helping them to at least see. And again, like we talked about earlier, there's certain levels of interest. Maybe they're not interested in a lot of that kind of stuff right now, but then they have exposure to it at least. And when it comes time to do something, they can say, all right, I've seen this done before. I can call my dad for help, but I know he's going to make me do it, and we're going to do it together and figure it out that way.
It is huge. Make sure you show your support, clicking that thumbs up. Yeah, if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. Yeah. If you don't like it, hit thumbs down twice.
Yeah.
I love it. Met plenty of women that can work side by side with men in the trades. And look, I have too. I'm part owner of Rescue Air now. You'll see the banner go by every now and then. We got a girl down there that's phenomenal. And it's funny because when she came to work for us, she looked at me one day and she says, you don't remember me, do you? And I said, no. Well, she had gone away and served in the military, came back home, was living with her mother. Her son had stuck something in a toilet. And I get over there to try to unclog the toilet, and I've got an auger and everything, and I cannot get it. And I said, look, I'm not going to charge you anything. I'm going to get out of here. Kid, do you think you can change the toilet? And she said, yeah. So, well, here's how you do it. And told her how. I don't even know if I had my YouTube channel up at the time. But I'm telling her how to do it. And I said, look, do me a favor. Break it down here when you pull it out. I said, I'm just curious as to what's in it.
I want to see it. Yeah,
absolutely. And she never sent it to me. But she says, that was me and my mom. Oh. And she says, I pulled the toilet and installed another one. Thank you for not taking advantage of us and stuff like this. So it was really neat.
And I'm curious, did you ever find out then?
It had a toy in it. Yeah, had a toy.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wanted to see the picture, the video. I wanted to see the whole thing. Flash in Your Pants says, one of the best finished carpenters I know is a woman. She does top quality work. Yeah. Women are amazing in the trades, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all that, and I'll say it over and over again. Women approach it completely different mentally. It's like me getting in the union. I got in the union after I'd been plumbing for 17 years. And I think this is probably good because it changed my life. Yep. But I got in and they're like, look, you're a rat. You don't know anything about plumbing. You haven't learned properly. You didn't come up union. And I thought, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to outperform them every day. Yeah. So every day I walked in, you talk about getting up and getting excited about going to CAD class or drafting class. Yep. I got up excited going to work about, all right, game on. Yep. And that was my mission. And it worked. I got better. I grew. I learned and learned how to do things different. So it was neat.
Awesome.
Don Singh says, do you ever wish you took up a different trade? I don't. Along the way, I have got out of plumbing a few times. I became a cosmetologist, a massage therapist, a bodyguard, a bouncer, a bartender. I have done a lot of different things. Now, a lot of it I did while I was still in the trades. I couldn't make enough money when I first started plumbing to support my family. So at night, I learned to 10 bar and weight tables. On the weekends, I learned to build redwood decks and fences. Yep. And it's like, look, there's nothing I can't do. So I don't ever wish I'd have taken up a different trade. I told Nils earlier, I would have been a horrible electrician.
I don't believe it, honestly, but okay.
I don't like electricity.
But you got to expose yourself to it.
And I believe that. No. See, then I'm out. And you're right. And I do tell people that. Dylan, I got into plumbing because one of my best friends growing up, his father and his 3 brothers were plumbers, and they were great people, and they loved what they did, and they made a good living. Had they been electricians, guess what? I'd have probably become an electrician. Yeah. Not necessarily what I thought I wanted to do or thought I wanted to be, but I didn't think at that point that I'd be a plumber either. Right. So anything's possible. Yep. But I have got out of it a few times and tried different things, but always come back to plumbing. Yeah. Flash in Your Pants says, hello, Roger. Good to catch you live. Man, I do. I love catching y'all live, so it is neat. Anthony Gamer 9000 says, do they still sell copper drains? Yes, they do. You may have to look for them, but look, guys, anything they ever made, they still sell. You can still get lead. You can still pour lead in Oakham joints. You can still get all the tools for it. I know because I bought a complete set. Yep. Ryan Fierro says, of all the tankless vendors, Rinnai, Navien, Rheem, Stabil Electron, which is your favorite and why? I got to tell you, I love Rinnai. I reached out to them about a sponsorship deal because I do think it's the best product. I love their customer service, Ryan. And Ryan, I don't know if you're a homeowner or a plumber or what.
Based on knowing those brands, I'll bet you he's in the trades.
Yeah, I know, and I'm thinking too. And Stabil Electron is basically an electric tankless. I've worked on one. Wasn't my favorite, but I worked on it. No problem against them. I've worked with Navien. I have not done a Rheem tankless that I'm aware of. I know I hadn't installed one. I may have had to work on one. But I love Rinnai. I love the customer service. I love the support you get. And, you know, when I had this first conversation with Renai, they said, why don't more plumbers install tankless water heaters? I said, because they scare them. They're afraid of it. Why don't more homeowners do DIY?
Right.
They're afraid of it. And most plumbers, if you're a homeowner in here and you're watching, and you have a plumber come in and you say, hey, I'm thinking about installing a tankless water heater, you're like, oh God, you don't want to do that. It's going to cost you way more money, and you're going to have to upsize your gas, and you're going to have to change your vent, and you're going to have to do a gas load calculation chart, and you're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to, and what they're telling you is every reason they're scared of doing it.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this, but it's the truth. So Ryan, I love first of all, that you're asking about tankless, whether you're a homeowner, and I'm looking over here in the comments to see if you jumped in to say if you're a homeowner or a plumber, become the tankless guru.
Yep.
Reach out to Renai and say, hey, look, I want to know more about tanklesses than anybody in my neighborhood, in my world, in my city, whatever it is. Become that go-to expert to where you can talk about tankless water heaters like nobody else can. I mean, you're talking about a computer geek. Y'all don't tell him I said that. A computer geek that is known around his neighborhood. I got the tools to do anything. And he's willing to do anything. And DIY, and the fact that you just jumped in and said, look, I'm just going to do it. I'm doing it every weekend. I'm just going to start videoing it and teaching people how to fix their own stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, don't be afraid to jump in and figure out whatever that is. But I love, like you said, that he's doing the research on the different brands, seeing what's got good support, good history, and what he's not going to have to worry about down the road as well.
Because look, once you pick the one you like, and I'm just telling you, my research led me to Renai. Once you pick the one that you like, reach out to him and say, look, I want to become a guru. How do I learn? And I mean, you can go to Renai and their training page and everything they've got. You could probably spend a day or two on their training page and know more about Renai than 99% of the plumbers in your city, state. I'll say city and state, because most plumbers are afraid of it. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's a trip. And this video was not sponsored by Renai, even though they are one of my sponsors. And look, I got to tell you, I love it. I really do. A Contillis says, as a woman, I feel that it is practical to learn how things work. If I can fix something, I will generally try and usually save money. If I can maintain something before it breaks, I definitely save. How huge is that?
That's smart.
I mean, look, you just moved to the head of the line.
Right.
Most guys don't even look at it that way. Yep. I don't need to know how it works. Just let me fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you know how it works, you got a better chance at fixing it.
I did a poll recently on water heater maintenance with anode rods. So so I said, how often do you change your anode rod? And one of the options was an anode what? Like, I've never heard of that. And I can't remember the exact numbers, but there was a pretty big chunk of people who said, I've never heard of an anode rod. And why would they have? No one's teaching them about this kind of stuff. And the majority, I think we're in the 80+% range. And I think it ended up in the 90s, that 90+% that really never change it or change it very infrequently, pretty much never. And that's most everybody. And that's one of the biggest factors to the corrosion in the water heater.
Which leads to the life cycle of the water heater.
Right. And then I didn't ask about flushing and how often that happens, but there's just so much out there. And, you're bringing up maintenance, and that's something that's just, there's so many pieces and parts out there that people just don't know that you need to do.
I've had women reach out to me and they're like, look, I flush my own tankless water heater. It's like, you go.
Yep. Good on you.
So good.
Yep.
Ascendance says, I had a new gas water heater put in and the cold water pressure is slightly lower now. Shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
And hot water runs on the cold side. Shouldn't be. What is causing the lower cold water pressure with only a new water heater? Okay, Ascendance, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. And I want you to think about it and then put it in there. Did you go tankless? Did you go or add a circulation pump? Did you add, if you went tankless, did you do a comfort system, meaning they put a comfort valve in at your lavatory to make that happen? Meaning you can give people hot water on demand. And talking about Renai, they got systems now that learn your patterns they know when you normally take your shower every morning. So it'll automatically start circulating your hot water before you go to the shower.
That's
So
awesome.
when you turn it on, it's already hot. And they do this with their tankless water. It's got a brain inside of there.
Sign me up.
It's neat.
Yeah.
Now, look, and look, the only reason I'm talking about Renai because that's what was mentioned a while ago. But when you work with a brand like that and you learn about that brand and all it's doing and things that they're working on, where it's going, it's like, okay, this is a game changer. And I think that is so neat.
Yeah.
Flushing your pants is when you do it right the first time. You don't have to worry about having to do it again or callbacks. And that is huge. And think about that because we always teach our plumbers to look, make sure you go through, do everything, explain everything, check everything, test everything, double check it, and then you're good. And becoming the best at something. And I've mentioned it a few times today. Again, it's probably because of reading the book, The Dip, last week. If you're not trying to be the best, why not? If you're getting into the trades, become the best tradesman at your company. Start with that.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do because most people getting in the trades aren't trying to become the best. They just want a job.
Yep.
So great opportunity. I love that. Thank you so much. Neil Dowman says, I'm going for my master's license in Michigan, 8 years into the trades, almost there.
All right.
Man, number one, that is phenomenal. It is, me, I became a master because the guy that got me into the trades, I went by to see his office one day, and two of his three brothers were there. And they're like, man, have you got your master's yet? And I'm like, no. I was thinking I was going to hear yes. Either it'd be like, well, why not? All of us have. I'm like,
Oh, man.
talk about peer
Odd
pressure.
man out. Yeah.
So, Homeowners Plumbing Guide. What 3 things should a homeowner know how to do at their house, no matter what?
Okay. So I think the first one that comes to mind is just how to diagnose a running toilet. That's just something that, actually, I should say first, before that, how to shut off your main.
Boom.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were going to skip that one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, got to know how to shut that off. And just to be, clarification for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about here, you got to know where the main water source is for your house. And you're usually going to have, it depends on the house, but you're going to have some sort of handle or valve on there that you need to be able to adjust to turn all of the water off from the city or from whatever your source is to your house. If you don't know how to do that, then you're going to find yourself in a pickle at some point or another. So that's number one. Second, I'd say is understanding how you can, like I was saying, fix a running toilet. That's probably one of the most common plumbing issues that comes up is just how to get that darn toilet that's running 24/7. So pop off the lid, look what's inside there, see how that works. And half the time it's that chain, right? We're seeing less and less of that on newer toilets, but there's still diagnostics that have to happen with the newer systems as well. And those can be a little, I think, more intimidating, honestly, for most people, because it doesn't look so simple, like with the ball and the chain and the flapper and all that kind of stuff. And then third would probably be for upgrades, like how do you swap out your faucets? How many people want to swap out a faucet, And it's not that hard. It's just something you got to take a little bit of time and do some research and figure out how it goes.
And I hate this. If you don't have to call a plumber, it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pretty much take a picture of your faucet at home, go to the big box store or get online.
Yep.
Go to Ferguson.com, look at the faucets they have, order one direct. Here's the thing. If you have a 4-inch faucet, most 4-inch faucets fit.
Yep.
If you've got a widespread, guess what? Most widespreads fit.
Yep.
So it's always a good thing to know and be able to go in and look at.
Yep.
Whenever you went straight to the toilet, I thought, wait, he's not even going to talk about shutting the water off. And when I won my contest with American Standard, the expert plumber, that's what my video was. I said, look, we want you to talk about you or what you do. We want you to talk about a tip, a plumbing tip, can be anything. And then we want you to talk about American Standard. So I made a video, starting out, and it's still up on my YouTube channel. It's very, very old. But my tip is, you got to know how to turn the water off at your house.
Yep.
And you look at a lot of these crazy, stupid plumbing videos where, water is spraying everywhere and they don't know what to do. That's why they don't know how to turn the water off. And that was my video. A few weeks later, they sent me to Piscataway, New Jersey to meet with American Standard. And it was 5 of their marketing women, their team.
Okay.
And they were all like, before we saw your video, we didn't know how to turn the water off.
Yeah.
Now we all do.
Yep.
And guys, it really is. It is huge.
Got to know that.
Yeah. It is one of the most important things you can learn. And I tell my story about getting home from school one day, and my parents had remodeled the garage. So closed the doors, sealed them off, installed carpet, HVAC, everything out there.
Yep.
And when they did, the laundry room used to be here. They moved it. So I walk into the front door and turn and step down this step into the new living room, which used to be the garage. And I'm in like 3 or 4 inches of water. And I thought it was cool. I know, probably not a good kid.
Right.
So I go over and call mom. I'm like, hey, guess what, man? We got water in the living room. This is so neat.
Yeah.
And she's freaking out. And she's like, turn the water off. He's like, what do you mean turn the water off? Yeah. How do you turn the water off? So now I make videos explaining to people, look, everybody in your family should know how to turn the water off.
That's a good point. It's not just the one person. What happens when your kids are home alone?
You know how.
Yeah. But do my kids?
But what if you're here?
Yeah.
And one of your daughters walks in today.
Yep.
And your water heater's flooding.
Right. That's a good point.
Do they know how to turn the water off?
I would have to see. I think I've shown them at least at one point, but
kind of like changing oil. Dad, I don't know. Something goes underneath. Something goes in the top.
That's right.
Yeah. Maybe we'll re-hit that.
That's a good one to revisit for sure.
It is such a great thing.
Yep.
David Martinez says, love seeing your stuff. I'm not sure if he's talking about you or me. But hey, back up to Neil. Congratulations. 8 years in the trades and getting your master's.
Fantastic.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, good on you.
David, thank you so much. Whether you're talking to either one of us, look, we love what we do. Mm-hmm. We both do. And, we were talking earlier in the podcast, and I know there's a scroller on the bottom. I think it's tagged in there somewhere. I've got another YouTube channel. That's where that podcast will be. But, talking about it, we love helping people.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think we've both got servants' hearts, and that's why we do what we do. Can I show other people how to do something I know how to do that can make their life better, save them money, whatever it is?
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Yeah, we love it.
There you go. Flash in your pants says, I just wish the other subs would clean up after themselves more. Yeah, we make videos about electricians do not know how to clean up a job site.
Yeah.
That they make messes and just, they're gone. So pretty good. I love that. Thank you so much. Ryan Fierro says, journeyman plumber from Oklahoma City 344. Ryan, anytime I see somebody from Oklahoma City, and I love that because you're talking about tankless, do you eat burgers at Nick's Grill? You ever been to Oklahoma City? There's a burger joint you got to go to.
Okay.
Nick's Grill is phenomenal, and it's not much bigger than these 2 rooms together. It's a counter, and there's like 4 or 5 tables. Nick, and he has somebody helps him. And it's a grill. He comes in early, starts sauteing onions and jalapenos and stuff to put on the burgers. Yeah. Phenomenal.
Hey, let's divert for a second and talk about what happened last night with the restaurant we ended up eating at.
Yeah.
So I told a friend of mine, he texted me as I was coming out here to Texas and down here to Texas, and he said, oh, you're in Texas? You should go to this one restaurant, as if all of Texas is just local and you can get anywhere, right? And he goes, well, where in Texas are you? And I said, I'm flying into Dallas. And he's like, he looks it up and he goes, oh, it's only a half hour outside of Dallas. You should go there. I didn't tell Roger this. Roger picks me up and we go to this restaurant. And as soon as we pull up, I'm like, are you serious? The one restaurant in all of Texas that this guy recommends is the one we're going to that night. Never said, I didn't cue you off to that or anything like that.
Nope. Not till we pulled up, parked, and we're getting out.
And he said, it's ironic because it's in Texas and the name of it is just Texas. Is that right? Is that what it's called?
That's the name of it.
Okay. So, yeah, small world. The guy says, all of Texas, go to this one restaurant, and that's the restaurant we go to.
And guys, look, here's the thing about it. Depending on where you're at, if you've ever heard of Del Frisco, Del's Double Eagle, anything like that, I think it used to be called Del Monaco's too or something. Those were his restaurants. And he ended up selling off his share or part of it or however it was. He bought all this land up in North Dallas and built this restaurant there. And it's phenomenal.
It's amazing.
And, I asked, do you like steak? He said, yeah. I said, okay, good. If not, I'll just take him to Jack in the Box. Not really. Then I asked, do you like Mexican? Because there's another Mexican restaurant that's in downtown,
Yep.
but it's phenomenal in downtown Dallas, so it's a good drive. But it's really, really good. And how was it?
It was amazing. So I had filet mignon, and it was just perfect. It was amazing.
Yes, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So Ryan, I keep looking over here to see if you commented. I'm assuming you know a Katrina Rasmussen.
I do know that
I
person.
know.
Yeah.
Ava R says hi, Dad.
Oh, okay. So that means my youngest daughter, is probably on.
It's probably
on
on
my wife's
YouTube
computer.
watching.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hi, Ava. I love you.
Hi, girls. Thank y'all for sharing your dad with me. I really do appreciate that. I know what we do sometimes, having to be away from family, is hard. So thank you. I appreciate it.
They're good girls.
Architectural sheet metal in the house. Brother, how are you doing? Good to see you in here. So, I'm talking about another channel. Number one, y'all need to go check out Flash in Your Pan. Jump over, subscribe, ring the bell, see what they do. Neat stuff. Architectural sheet metal 101, another one. Metal standing seam roofing. Again, not a DIY type thing. I would never do that.
Right.
But I want to put a metal standing seam roof on the barn.
Oh, okay.
And when I close it in, do everything I've been talking about doing. So cool stuff.
That is cool.
Ryan says I've installed several Renai and even more Navian. Then, Ryan, I would ask you what you think's best. I love Renai. And there's a lot of behind the scenes reasons because of the way they do things, why they do things, what they're all about. And that's a big deal to me. A lot of people it ain't. So, Brian Haggerty says we need more speakers like you telling the young folks to be a tradesman. Brian, thank you. I love that. That's what was neat about getting to go to Dallas County College the other day. And I am literally working on finding a way to get out and speak to like Skills USA. I want to speak at their national event. Anybody here knows Skills USA or involved with it, say, hey guys, like y'all need this guy. I've met some amazing people over there. I do want to get out and speak more. I've got a BHAG. I'm trying to get 1.5 million people into the trades, help 750,000 become better tradesmen, help 500,000 start their own business, help 250,000 use networking and social media to grow those businesses to where they're not just spending money on advertising, then they make more money in the long run. So I've got a lot of stuff I'm working on, but that's affecting 3 million lives. Yeah. And I think I can do it. Matter of fact, I know I can do it.
Yeah, you're on your way. Absolutely.
Okay, Ascendant's put in a 40-gallon tank, no circulation, no valve. So Ascendant's, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you've got restricted water flow, I doubt that it's pressure, it's probably flow, and I know that may not make sense. I would go check the meter. Did they turn the water off at the meter? Did they turn it all the way on at the meter?
Right.
I would go check a ball valve outside of your house, your main valve coming in. Same thing. If they turn the water, here's what normally happens. A plumber comes in, he shuts the water off to do the install. They crack the water back on. They run into the house to see if they have any leaks.
Right.
Okay.
Minimal risk at that point.
Yeah, minimal risk.
Yeah.
If it does leak, I've got the pressure on low. I can go open a tub. It's going to quit dripping as fast. Now I can run outside, turn the water off again. It's going to go back down.
Yep.
It pressures up. Everything's good. They start looking around. They maybe even grab you, say, hey, check this out. We're done. Looks good.
Yep.
They forgot to open the valve all the way.
Yep.
Then check the valve at your water heater. Now, any of these valves, you should be able to cycle. Meaning, if it's a ball valve, turn it all the way on, turn it all the way off. All the way on, the handle is in line. All the way off, it's turned to a 90-degree angle.
Yep.
Okay? Know these things. Cycle your valves. Check your meter. And you may have to have permission to get into your meter box. You may have to have a meter key. But here's what I do. I'd call the plumbing company back and say, hey, guys, y'all need to come out here because I don't have pressure like I used to have.
Agreed.
What could it be?
Yeah.
Let them check the valves. That way, if they did, say you've got an old gate valve and they cycled it and it didn't open up all the way, that valve may need to be replaced. And it's not their fault. It was faulty. It happens. But I'd still want it opening all the way, and I'd want it changed to a ball valve. Yeah. Lead in your drain pipe doesn't really matter unless it's your drinking water. Yep. Yeah, normally there's not a lot. I say there's not a lot of lead in the drinking water. This property I just bought was built in the mid 80s, and they come out and did a lead check, which is what a plumber or WSPS does. Did a lead check and said, look, you've got minimal lead in the solder, which solder used to be 50-50, half lead, half tin, alloys, things like that. So, yeah, pretty neat. Now, Diamond says, sounds like your heater's hooked up backwards, possibly. As far as poor pressure, sometimes cutting into pipes causes debris to come loose. Check your aerators and shower heads. Yeah, if it's just an aerator shower head, Neil may be right. It could just have sediment in it. Normally, not hooked up or hooked up backwards is not going to affect your pressure. What it's going to affect is your hot water. Because if you hook it up backwards, put the cold in, cold's going to go to the top. It's going to suck from the bottom. And think about it, heat rises, so your hottest water is at the top. That's why you have the dip tube. So hooking it up backwards normally will not affect the pressure or the volume. It's normally going to affect, you're going to have hot water for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then it's gone. So that's normally your problem there. Excellent. Thank you very much. A sentence said the solution ended up being a check valve on the cold side of the water heater. Definitely gets hot before the check valve. Still, though, on the water heater itself on the cold side. Yeah, so you're probably talking the inlet, the dielectric union. A lot of those get funky.
And I would say also make sure you're checking the settings on the water heater because you usually have A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3 different basically settings for how hot that thing can be. And you want to be careful not to overdo it, but make sure they didn't put it at the very lowest, coldest setting. And that could be the cause of, the temperatures not being where they need to be.
You bet. Temperature is easy. That normally goes straight to the water heater.
Yeah.
So it says, Neil Diamond, it's all fixtures in the house. It was done by a licensed plumber, and it definitely isn't backwards. Good deal.
Okay.
Anthony Gamer 9000 says, the handle that turns off all of it, turns all of it off in my basement, running up over the ceiling, hot water heater, then running the bathroom and kitchen. One more time.
So yeah, he's saying that he's saying where the main shutoff
valve
is.
is in his basement.
Yeah,
yes, yes, absolutely. Now, I'm in Texas. We don't have basements. We've had this great conversation all morning. When you go look at one of my original videos, and it's probably titled American Standard or something like that, you can either go out to the street where we turn it off at the meter. You need a tool for that. Or I've got another one where I turn it off at the valve box. Now, I've installed a whole house water filtration system at my house. So we've got a 3-valve bypass. I've got my water filtration system in the garage. I took my line going into the house, cut T's in it, so I can either control it and make it loop through my filter or bypass it. And I love that. But now you can just look down in my box and close the valves, and the water shuts off the whole house.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Now, remember, this video is sponsored by Leak Pro, and I saw it right there behind me. Leak Pro is, to me, the best leak detection system for professional plumbers. It's not pull equipment. It's not designed to be pull equipment. It has been used as pull equipment, but I think it's the best leak detection system for plumbers. It's a handheld device. You plug headphones into it. It's not big bulky, so you don't have headphones with a big wire running to it, or with it running to a big transfer box where all your power comes from, and switches and knobs and all that. Then another wire coming out and going to your probe. Literally, you plug your headphones into the device. What I like about that is we've got the probe, we've got the sidekick. Sidekick's great for under the house, putting it on, or in the house, putting it on angle stops, valves, valve boxes, anything you can get to. The probe is amazing. It's a big old block of aluminum with handles on it. It's just like a probing rod. So if you think you've got a leak in a yard and you've isolated the line, go along the top of it, stick the probe in. You're going to hear what's 3 feet underground. Neat stuff.
That's
so
cool.
Go to leak-pro.com, check it out. And we're finishing up building the training center. Should be this week. So reach out to Squirt, get something booked, and we'll get you in here for a training. Leak-pro.com. Dave Merks, Roger, do you offer a complete plumbing inspection to people, real estate agents? Complete flat rate price? If so, what is it? It's hard to do that, Dave, because, and I used to, I used to say, look, we'll come out and do a plumbing inspection for real estate agents for, God, I think at the time it was $575, something like that. To me, the smarter thing is have a home inspector do that part. Call a plumber to come in and do a sewer water test. And I have argued with attorneys across the country about the verbiage that they use. Hydrostatic test, you'll blow the plumbing apart. It's like, no, you won't. If your plumbing system under your house, if I go to your house, stick a test ball in your two-way clean out and just fill it up with water, I'm checking to see that your plumbing system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Right. Hold water, no leaks, no pressure. Now, the other part is the pressure side. If I just put a gauge on at your hose bib, whether it be an outside hose bib or your washing machine or whatever, and I look at it and say your city pressure is 85 PSI, and I go turn your meter off, how am I putting any pressure on it?
Right.
I'm just saying that it holds the 85 PSI that the city put in it.
Right.
And that's how I do it. So I would look at offering that, but then you've got to ask, do you have two-way cleanouts? Do you know where the meter is? A lot of people have let their house go so long, the meter's covered up. They don't even know where it is. They don't even know if we've got two-way cleanouts. So I always ask them and tell them, because if you don't know where these are, it may take us a while to locate them, and we may have to charge you additionally for that. Right. So pretty cool. Now, Diamond says, in case, like Roger said, see if you have a mixing valve in the house. Could be backfeeding through there. Andy Rowe from Maryland, how are you? Good to see you in here. Flash in your pan says, doesn't matter if plumbing or electrical, always turn off the main source before you start your work.
Yep.
How big is that? You'll notice, because we were talking earlier, I used to not have a voltmeter, and I went to work on my sister's house, and I was literally working on something on her garage door. So I took these wires, putting in a new light. Like me, whenever I install a ceiling fan, I don't turn off the power.
Yep.
I know better. But I'm like, it's 3 wires.
I thought you said you were afraid of electricity, and you're over here working live on it.
Hey, that's why I'm afraid of it. I'm not smart enough to make it nothing to be afraid of. But yeah, learn what to do. Learn the right way to do it.
Tell them what you
and
did.
Turn it off. I took the 2 wires and touched them together and made it trip the breaker. Then I knew which one it was. Not a good way to do it. It's not good for the breaker.
Yep.
So just saying. Katrina Rasmussen, thank you so much for being in here, both of y'all. I do appreciate that. Annie Rose said, would you recommend anyone getting into a trade to start out doing new construction, learn the trade? Yeah. Andy, I've got a little video. It's a free course. It's on my YouTube channel. How to find out what trade to get in.
Oh, I like that.
It starts off about, do you know the difference between commercial and residential? Actually, there's commercial, residential, and industrial. New construction or service, union or non-union. Most tradespeople, and I've interviewed so many people, I've got the banner on the bottom. It's another YouTube channel, Trade Talks 2.0. I normally ask them, when you got into the trade, did you know what kind of plumber you wanted to be? Did you know if you wanted to do commercial, residential, or industrial? Did you know if you wanted to do service or new construction? Did you know if you wanted to be union or non-union? And they're like, no, I had no idea about any of that.
Yep. None
of us did. So, man, just go check it out. Yep. It'll help you out a lot.
But he's saying, do you recommend getting into new construction to learn the trade? So learning kind of a more broad training, it sounds like. Or is he talking about new construction only?
He's talking about new, even in the trade. I don't mind getting in to learn it, but what if you don't like new construction? Here's a question I've got for you. Do you like building things or do you like fixing things?
Yes. But I'd say building is more enjoyable.
Then I would say get in construction.
Yeah.
If you're like, I enjoy fixing things more, get into service.
Yeah.
You're still going to learn it. What I like about getting into construction first, you're going to understand what's behind the walls.
Yeah.
What's under the ground.
Yeah.
That part's huge. But if you get in it and you hate construction, you're liable to get out of plumbing. You may have been the best service plumber that ever lived.
Right. Got to give it a chance. Yep.
So I tell people, look at these different things up front and ask yourself, where would I fit best? What would I enjoy the most? Because when people reach out to me, Andy, and say, what trade can I get in where I can make the most money? The answer is the one you love the most.
Right.
I love plumbing. I have studied to become one of the best plumbers. I want to know everything about it. I wanted to get every endorsement. I wanted to be good at it. I know you said that about electric earlier, but when I got in, it's like, if I'd have got in, it'd be like, okay, it's a job.
But you're recognizing, though, this is not your passion. That's not where your passion
Right,
lies.
exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, I may have become just as passionate about electrical getting in that side.
Sure.
It's just I got into plumbing, and now I don't talk nice about electricians.
And the other thing I would add to this is interview people. Take guys to lunch, take gals to lunch, figure out what they like about it, what they don't like about it, what they recommend, where they would push you in which direction, and how to kind of glean from their understanding and their experience too. It's not just sometimes it's hard to recommend to someone to like, go try this, go try that, because how do you try it? So, I mean, you could get a job doing something, you could apprentice a little bit, you could volunteer to be on site, and those are all things you should do. But you can also learn a lot just by talking to those people in those trades.
You know, and we were talking earlier about kits, stuff like that.
Yep.
If you think this is something you may enjoy, and I'm going to pretend you live at home, I'm going to pretend you're 18 years old because I don't know you. Go ask mom and dad, say, hey, can I rebuild the toilet? It's running. I've watched a video. I know what I'm doing. I just need y'all to buy the parts.
Yep.
And Dad, you can watch me. I'm gonna turn the valve off first. I'm gonna flush it. I'm gonna make sure the water's not still running. If it is running, I'm gonna go shut it off at the main. Dad may need you to buy another tool. Imagine that. Imagine going to your mom or dad and saying, look, I'm thinking about being a plumber. I really love the idea. My toilet's running. If you need help learning how to make it run, I can show. No, I'm joking. I really am. But I mean, maybe it's your mom talking, saying, "Oh my God, my toilet's running. I can't get it stopped." Mom, oh my God, can I rebuild that?
Right.
When she says you can't do it, say number one, don't ever tell me that. Don't ever tell me I can't do anything. I'm gonna show you you're wrong. But get on YouTube and learn how to do it. I've got 2 videos. You've got videos. They're out there.
Yep.
And it's not often I bring somebody in that does the same type videos I do. Guys, everybody in the world ain't gonna watch my videos. A lot of people look at me and they're like, I don't like him. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like that mustache. I don't like his Southern accent, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Just leave me a comment. Tell me why you don't like me. Then I get the comment.
Get the engagement.
I get the engagement.
Yeah.
I'll engage back.
Yeah.
No, but we're all different. We like people for different reasons. And I get that. I teach people that when they go in to apply for a job, you've got to understand that person is looking for something. You got to ask questions. You got to communicate. You got to learn how. So anyway, I know I went off on a rant there. Getting into construction is good. You learn what's behind the walls. But if you get in and you're like, look, I don't like coming to the same job every day. I don't like working on a high rise every day. I don't like carrying 10-foot joints of 4-inch pipe every day. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Don't just say plumbing's not for me.
Right.
That is one of about 4 different phases of plumbing. That there's new construction commercial, new construction residential, service construction, service commercial, service residential. You tried one little piece and said, okay, I don't like this. Okay. You learn enough that now when you go to work for a residential service company, you say, look, I've got some experience, commercial plumbing. They're going to say, okay, he knows what goes in the walls. It's an advantage now. You should make more money.
Yep.
Tips and tricks. A Contilla says shutting off the main is helpful for sure in Texas. It's also important to know how to drain the pipes before a hard freeze. Yeah, we do know. And I got to tell you, most houses aren't designed to shut off the water anymore. You know, we used to put in bleeder valves. We don't even do that anymore because of the cross connection. You've got to know what you're doing. So, great information. Look at this. I love this.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll teach you something funny. Next time Dad's in the shower, go out and shut the water off. Actually, I'll teach you another trick. Just go to the hot water heater and turn it off, or the water heater, turn off the hot water valve.
From now on, I'm only showering when the kids are at school.
Why? Note to self.
That's right.
Never trust Katrina
That's right.
when I'm in the shower. Katrina, that's how you end somebody's shower really, really quick.
Yeah, no kidding. Can't just flush the toilet anymore, right?
I know. Yeah, that doesn't do it. We got enough pressure now.
Yep.
Ryan Fierro says, never eaten at Nick's. Gonna have to stop. Love a good burger. Dude, you are setting on one of the best burger places I know of. Flash in your pants says, reminds me, a Contillas. I have to turn off and drain my exterior water lines for the winter. Have a freeze coming up here in West Central Ohio. Man, I should have come up here and seen you. I was supposed to go to Ohio the other day. PHCC did a deal up in Cleveland, another conference I want to speak at. Pretty neat. Brother, you're wonderful. I love watching what you do. Thank you. So just real quick, we got Architectural Sheet Metal 101 in here. Great channel to subscribe to. We've got Flash in Your Pan, another one. We've got Learn, LRN2 DIY. Great one. Jump out there and see what these other people are doing, guys. If you're in here, you're my people. We like the same stuff. You're going to be impressed by these. So just telling you. Got that. Ron Fierro says, I've installed the Rinnai that has an exterior shell. So the heater can vent directly outside and be serviced outside, which is an amazing feature. Already love and recommend the Navion MPA2 with the recirc pump. I'll just tell you this, what Rinnai's working on with their recirc pump and their brain inside of it, it's going to be a game changer. Flash in a Pan says, being in the trades most of my adult life, I've always been able to find work and earn a good living no matter where I have been living. Guys, the cool thing is about being in the trades. If I wanted to move to Utah, I can reach out to Utah and say, hey, look, I'm a plumber. Anybody up there hiring? I'm telling you, everybody's hiring.
Right.
So it's not hard to get a job.
Very transferable skill set.
Yeah, it really is. Neil Diamond says, I prefer Navion out of all the tankless so far. Used to sell a brand called Eternal. But after installing about 10 of them, they closed their doors. Felt terrible for my customer. Yeah, but the Eternal used to be a great water heater. So I don't have any. I understand. A sentence says, I have a ball valve for my water main, and it's in the basement. I'll double check the valves. Good for you.
Good.
Ron Fierro says, I don't know if anyone else shares the same opinion, but I always thought a good service plumber should initially learn residential new construction to get a better grasp of how the complete plumbing system looks and works. I have no problem with that. Ron, the only reason I tell people to look at it and think about all the levels, if they get in construction and they hate it, they may never get back into another trade. But I love the idea of getting into construction to learn what's going on behind the walls, what's going on underground. To completely understand a plumbing system, you do need to do it all.
Yep.
At least commercial, residential, construction, and service. Then you are so well-rounded, you can create a YouTube channel and talk about anything, anytime, especially if you do union and non-union on top of it. Yep. Kat says, how important is the black hose from a C unit outside that goes into the home condensation? Black hose is split or cracked. Is that a vacuum hose off the unit?
From AC unit, air conditioning unit.
Oh, it's not a black hose. I don't think.
I'm trying to figure out what
I think you're talking about the black insulation because it does get cracked.
Yeah.
I would go to your local box store, get new insulation, put it back on, wrap it, do it when it's not running, when it's not wet and cold and dripping. Get it on there, tape it up really good. That's going to help keep your AC creating colder air.
Yep. It's just insulation. Go inspect it to make sure that is in fact what we're talking about here, but it's probably just foam. Basically, it's a foam insulation that wraps around those pipes that go in.
1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick.
Yep.
Yeah, check it out. Anthony Kaiser says, are we live now? Yes, we are, as verified right there. Says, Roger, how do you feel about starting a plumbing repair business but not being a licensed plumber? I think that's illegal. I think it's a disservice to homeowners because if you ever do anything wrong, their insurance company's not going to cover it. Anthony, my thing to you is why not just go work for a plumbing company and get your license and do it legal?
So it sounds like he's talking about like some of the stuff he's talking about is kind of along the handyman trade. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, what does a handyman need to be certified to do, or how does that go?
Handyman I love, but a handyman cannot change faucets because you're not supposed to affect anything in the water supply line. Valve repair, can't get into that. Drain snake, you're not supposed to open the cleanouts. Toilet repair, you're not supposed to replace anything inside because it all ties to the potable water system. So, Anthony, everything you're mentioning right there is legally in Texas supposed to be done by a licensed plumber. That's why, look, handyman, and that's why I said, look, I'm not calling you a handyman. You're a DIY. You teach homeowners how to do it themselves. Mm-hmm. What you're talking about is starting a plumbing repair business. You've got to be a licensed plumber. Anthony, you don't know where you're located. Some states don't require a plumbing license. Then go for it.
Yep.
But still, I think you're doing a disservice to your people. If you're opening a plumbing repair business and you're not a plumber,
right,
that'd be like me opening a dental office.
Right.
Saying, hey, I'll pull your teeth.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I'm going to do it right, but that's the way I see it.
And liability, like you said,
liability is huge. And that's a big reason why, because to me, you may end up really hurting your homeowner, your customer. Even if you've got insurance, your insurance is like, well, I'm not paying it. You shouldn't have been offering to do plumbing if you don't have a license. So anyway, that's my thing. Now you want to do handyman work. You want to fix the fence. You want to change the doorknob, the lock, one shingle on a roof, the whole roof. If a license isn't required in your area, learn to do things like that. That way you don't cost your customer a lot of money. That way you don't get into something you don't understand. Because trust me, you're going to get in to do this, and they're going to say, well, hey, while you're here,
yep,
why don't you go ahead and replace the water heater? Well, you're not licensed to do that either. So I would just be very, very careful. Handyman, I think a handyman company is the smartest thing on earth. I've got stuff that I need a handyman to do around here. You said there's a lot of things I don't have time to do.
Sure.
Should I call somebody else? Yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
There's a lot of things. It's like, look, not that I don't want to do it. It's just I got so many things going on. I could use a hand.
Right.
The good thing about Squirt, he's mechanically inclined, and he's like, there ain't nothing I can't fix. So
right.
it is good. Spitfire 1551 says, just want to say hi. Big thank you to you both for what you do. The neat thing is we love what we do. It's pretty cool. Thank you very much. Kat says, when in Cleveland, I'm from Northeast Ohio. There you go. Well, I didn't go to Cleveland. I should have last week. Jackie Alba, hello to you. Good to see you in here. And, I love this because, okay, look, right here, look at the next comment. Jackie says, I did fix my toilet. Fill drain, fill valve. Sorry, I'm a disabled veteran. Took some time. Look, number one, Jackie, you did it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay? There's nothing to apologize for. I teach people how to do this for that particular reason. And I love it because there's a lot of women in here today asking about the trades. It's like, guys, look, you can do it. If you can learn to ride a bicycle, you can learn to tie your shoestrings, you can learn plumbing.
Yep.
I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yep.
And you can learn to do anything else. He's doing everything.
Go learn.
It's pretty neat. I just spent $500 today on tools at Home Depot, 5th week into apprenticeship. Now, I love this. Here's what I like. 3 weeks in, 5 weeks in, you already spent $500. So you've put up about $100 a week. That's more than I recommend, but what a great way to start. Guys, here's the thing. You've got to invest in your tools. And you talk about tools a lot.
Yep.
It is such a big thing. Whether you're a homeowner.
Like it's on my T-shirt or something.
I know.
You know? Yeah.
I know. And the cool thing about it is always invest in yourself. Whether it's tools, whether it's education, whether it's knowledge. Invest in you. That's going to make you better at your job. And the better you are at your job, the more money you're going to make.
Yeah. Got to have the right tools for the job. That's one of the things that gets in the way for so many people is they try to do a job with insufficient tools or the wrong tools.
Or the wrong tool.
Yeah,
I know.
and
I've been there.
It ruins things.
It does.
Yep.
It does. Flash in your pan, right? The proper tools of your trade are a must, and continuously invest in yourself. Even if it's a tool, well, I don't need this yet, so I'm not going to get it. Well, the day you need it and you don't have it, you waited too long. Yep. Factual Fallout says, what are a few good books to have handy and read if you're already full-time working just to get a few basics? You know, I wish that there were some good plumbing books out there. I'm going to tell you, you're doing the right thing. Jump in videos. And I'm not the only plumber out there. I'm just the best looking and smell the best. Okay, I'm joking. But, you know, my thing is, watch plumbers. Watch Nils over on his channel. How do you do this? How do you rebuild? Because he's teaching it for a DIYer. He goes a little bit more basic than I do. I love that. Me, I'm assuming the plumber knows how to do this, knows how to do this. It's like, guys, just do this, this, this. And some people are like, wait, you didn't show me how to get to that point. I'm like, man, I got to work on that. And Jackie, I'm looking at the live stream over here. You're in the Navy. Yeah, you're going to do good. Yeah. Learning to fix your own stuff is amazing. Keep doing it. You're not going to have any problem. But Factual Fallout, watching videos helps me more than anything. If I don't know how to use a certain feature on the Rinnai tankless water heater, I go to their website. I watch them go through it and show me how. So you're in a good spot. What do you think?
Yeah, one thing on that, actually, my wife and I were literally 2 days ago looking at a book that I picked up at the thrift store, so Salvation Army or whatever it might be in your area, and it was basically a whole home repair kind of thing, and it taught how the plumbing in your house works, how the sheetrock and drywall and studs work in your house, and how the electrical system is set up and all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit outdated, but it was kind of surprising how not outdated it was. It could be 20 years old and still teach mostly pretty relevant stuff for today. And then you talk about tankless water heaters, and they're not in there, right? You're not going to see that kind of thing. But most of the stuff that's in there. So maybe, just start out by looking for some of these books that are, if books is your thing, books is not my thing for like how I consume educational stuff. I like to listen to books, but maybe see if you can find some that are just kind of these guides to your house. And if nothing else, it's gonna probably pique your interest and be like, oh, so I didn't even know what was behind that. Exactly. There's going to be a lot of those aha moments when you start to see what's behind the walls. It's pretty fun.
I love that. Jackie says, I was in the Navy. Thank you, Flash. Great job. Flash in your pants says, thank you for your service. I saw that up there.
Every time you say flash in your pan, it sounds like you're saying flash in your pants.
Flash in your pan.
Pan. There you go. All
Panning
right.
for gold. Jackie, does Navy really mean never again volunteer yourself? Pretty good.
Pretty much.
Jackie, pretty much. There you go. Factual Fallout. Thank you. Kat says, Jackie, thanks for your service. My dad, World War II, 6 out of 10 brothers, 3 Army, 3 Navy.
Wow.
So they give them something to argue about once a year.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanksgiving must be fun.
Thank you. Jackie Alba asking because my dad was Navy, WW2, always said that to me. Ron Fierro says, would love to see a Red River plumbing rivalry, Oklahoma versus Texas, best plumbing bowl. We may have to work on something like that.
Yeah.
My dad was in the Marines. There you go. In Vietnam. Thanks for his service too.
Yeah.
Jackie says, thank you everyone for the thanks. No, look, number one, they're right. Thank you for your service.
Right.
It's something not everybody does. I was never in the service, but people come up to me because of the way I am when I work and do things. They're like, were you in the military?
I've been asked that
It's
too.
like, no, it's like, dude, the way you are, you run this job like a commander. Well, okay, it's what it takes to run it right. But so Jackie, look, thank you. That is neat. Nils, where can everybody find you?
So my channel on YouTube is called Learn to DIY. So LRN2 DIY. And head on over there, and there's a lot of searches that you'll do online that will pull up some of my videos first, and you can find a little bit of everything there. And I'm always open to suggestions. We're looking for ways to help as many people on that channel as possible. But that's the best place to go find our library of videos.
I love that. Guys, jump over there, subscribe. Flash in your pan.
Yep.
Jump over there, subscribe. Architectural Sheet Metal 101. These are great people that look, I love what they do. It really is. It's neat. It's great to see them and have them jump in my lives or come all the way down here to be in one with me. So remember, this video is sponsored by Leak Pro, LEAK-PRO.com. Go check it out. It's leak detection equipment right there. The most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And it's designed for plumbers. It's not pull equipment that they're like, oh, wait, we can sell this to plumbers too if we'll just say this and do this. Go check it out. Go check out the website. We're building a training center right here. If you're in plumbing, it's going to help you become a better plumber for the companies that you work for. It's going to bring more value to you, which is going to help you make more money. If you're a plumbing company owner, this is going to help you bring value to your customers and not just have to refer them out to somebody else. So go check it out, leak-pro.com. Thank you all for being here. It is the end of the day for me, for us. I know that I had a few more comments pop in here. Jackie, thank you for everything you do. It's amazing. Thank you for all the videos. Helps out a lot, and that's why we do it. I wanted to say a special thanks for Kat for being in here. Flash in your pan. Factual Fallout. I love the name. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Guys, it's another Saturday. We got to have fun. Got to talk about plumbing. If there's anything that you want to know about, check the YouTube channel. See if we've got a video about it. Hopefully we do. If not, send me a message or jump in the comments and let me know. Hey, Roger, wish you had one about this. Love to know more about it. But thank you, each and every one, for being here. I do appreciate it. Man, thank you for coming down. This has been great.
No, agreed. Thanks for having me. I love
a lot of fun. Glad we got to go out to a good dinner last night.
That's right. The best.
The best. Absolutely. Normally when I go out for steak, trust me, it's going to be a good one.
They all know Roger over there.
I know. It's pretty funny. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you all for being here. Longhorn's getting ready to play here in a little bit. So hook 'em. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, helping you make more money in the trades.